and welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment.
Yes.
So today we are coming to you with the first topic, because I'll go first, and it's going to be about the 2023 Golden Globe Awards.
Hey.
So, we had that take place on Monday. I believe that was the 9th of January. And, it's the who's who of cinema and television that goes to this award. It is one of the few award shows where everybody sits around a big table. Yeah. They give you some food, but they mainly give you alcohol. So it's supposed to be the funnest award show. And the Hollywood Foreign Press is the group that initiates this and gives out the awards and things of that nature. And Jared Carmichael was the host. Yes. And so not a fan of him being the host. Yeah, what I saw, I was underwhelmed. I even watched his TV show occasionally.
Well, they said, he was talking about how he really didn't want to do it.
Oh, he said that the only reason he did it was because the Hollywood Foreign Press was in trouble last year for being racist and not having any minority, well, I guess you'd say black members. And they started having their first one after it was called out. So he said the only reason that he was the host was because.
Yeah, he was on, I think he was on Jimmy Fallon and was talking about it. And was just like, so I said, all right. So they were like, for your commercial, you do like the Golden Globes, and he's gonna be like, and they, all right, I could say that, and then he said that they told him, and then smile. He said, how about this? What if I say the Golden Globes are not as black as like what do you say? Like the Golden Globes have never been blacker than this year, and then he smiled, and they were like, no. How about we stick to? So he just kept like saying stuff, and he was just like, I don't know. They asked me because they had nobody else to ask. Nobody else said yes.
Nobody else said yes. I don't know, but I was surprised that they selected him. But then once I was watching him, I was like, I don't know if they'd invite him again. He said some things that were kind of like just thrown off. It was like. All right, first of all, you have Ricky Gervais, who does it, and he hits you like a ton of bricks with hilarious. The worst parts about yourself. But
he's hilarious.
He's funny, but it depends on who you are as to if he is funny. Because he'll say things, and then you're just like, you are a horrible individual if you're making a joke about that. You know what I mean? So it's like but it's that.
True. So, it's funny, though. I'm sorry. It's dark humor.
It is extremely dark humor. I think Jared Carmichael might have been going towards that. He tried to make a joke and to dig at Scientology and just different things. Something about Whitney Houston. It was just...
It's too much.
It was too much. It wasn't...
He tried too hard.
I don't think that it was him. So anyway, but getting to the actual awards themselves, I wanted to just take a moment to just talk through some of the winners that won the Golden Globe and won the supporting actress category for a TV series or musical, for example. So they had people from Abbott Elementary, they had Hacks, they had The Crown, and the winner actually was from Ozark, Julia Garner. Oh, so nice. She won for supporting actress. You had a supporting actor in a limited series or anthology. And so this gentleman I had never seen before and hadn't even heard of this movie before, but it's Blackbird.
Yes.
Okay. Haven't heard of it. Haven't seen it. So Paul Walter Hauser was the one who won the award, but he was up against Seth Rogen for Pam and Tommy, Domhnall Gleeson for The Patient, Richard Jenkins for Dahmer, and then which is the father of Jeffrey Dahmer in that show, and then F. Murray Adams for The White Lotus, which was the grandfather on White Lotus. So, but Blackbird was the winner for that.
I've seen him on a couple of things. He's a good actor.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Never seen him. Best supporting actor in a series or musical was Tyler James Williams. Everybody hates Chris. So the actor for that category, he was on Abbott Elementary. So he won against The Crown, Barry, Henry Winkler he beat out. The Old Man, John Lithgow, or Lithgow. I can't think of how he says it. Yeah. And then John Torino, oh my God. how come I'm not saying this? I'm like you last week. John Turturro for Severance. So, he was in a lot of Spike Lee movies and stuff. So, Abbott Elementary, big winner that night for Best Supporting Actress in a Limited Series or Anthology, Jennifer Coolidge. I was so excited. I think it's her first Emmy Award.
Oh, really? Ever?
61 years old. A lot of women 60 and up won, which is exciting. Okay. So we'll talk about that as well. But she won against another person on White Lotus, Niecy Nash for Dahmer, Under the Banner of Heaven, Daisy Edgar Jones, and Claire Danes for Fleischman is in Trouble. So she beat all of them out. You have an actor in a mini series. So you have Colin Firth for The Staircase, which I watched, and that was very interesting. Taron Egerton for Blackbird, Sebastian Stan for Pam and Tommy. So this will be the guy who played Tommy. And then Andrew Garfield for Under the Banner of Heaven. And the winner, Evan Peters for Dahmer.
Oh, wow. Okay,
so this is controversial because it's Dahmer. So therefore you have people who are like, why are we glorifying and this Dahmer story just keeps getting done over and over and over again. So why are we glorifying the fact that this happened? It's horrific, and the people whose families were impacted by this and died, at his hands, have to keep reliving this over and over and over again. So why are we rewarding somebody for playing this character? The other side of it is he knocked it out the park, and he did an amazing job with this character, and you can't hold the character against the person. Exactly. And so, so that's kind of some of the conversation. The lady who was Tony Hughes's mom, ironically enough, Shirley Hughes, wanted to just say that, she's put out a statement about just how bad it is that this was even in the category to get an award. So you got that. I'm very excited for Evan Peters.
I feel where she's coming from because she does have to relive it. But then also this is a part of like what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is.
And this is just, it's like a documentary, like a mockumentary kind of.
No, it's a docu. It's just like a
dramatization
of the story in such a way, like somebody else said, they were like, look, I never knew any of the victims' names until this
show came out.
So this actually, if all the other ones were just for show and glam and clicks and ratings and all of that, then this one at least helped you to have feeling and heart for the people who were impacted by Dahmer, and understanding how he was able to be under the radar for so long because people did not look at him as somebody who would do this. So even when he was caught red-handed a few times, they just let it go, and all these people could have lived. So, there's that side of it too. So, but I'll go quicker because I know we don't have all night, but actress in a mini series, Amanda Siegfried for The Dropout. So the main lady for The Dropout, that was great. You have for mini series or TV film. So we have Blackbird, Dahmer, Pam and Tommy, The Dropout, and White Lotus. Who do you think won?
White Lotus.
White Lotus did win. Absolutely. Yep, miniseries or TV film. We have the actor in a drama TV series. So you have Bob Odenkirk, Kevin Costner, Jeff Bridges, Adam Scott, and Diego Luna. Who do you think won?
Kevin Costner.
Yeah. Now that was interesting too.
That's why.
Yep, for Yellowstone.
I think everybody in the world is watching Yellowstone. I think we should have to start watching it. So
I know.
We can, talk
We're the only ones who weren't watching it. I'll watch 2 episodes and be like, okay, so this is how it kicks off. There you go. But basically, when Regina Hall was on the stage to accept the award, well, to say who the winner was, and then she's like, I'm going to accept this award on his behalf. You have to Google that. Please, everybody, Google or YouTube her acceptance, because at this point, it's almost the end of the night. She's probably drunk, or at least tipsy. A little tipsy. And so therefore, she's like, oh, here's the thing about, they're not here. Well, if they really wanted to be here, they could be here. Oh, wait, he has to shelter in place. He's stuck in, Santa Barbara.
Yeah, Santa Barbara.
But it's like, Santa Barbara stuck in place? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, stuck in Santa Barbara for flooding.
Which is a true thing. People have died. So there's that. But she couldn't stop herself from laughing as she was trying to say it, because it sounds so pretentious. Yeah. And like, if you really wanted to be here, you would figure out a way to be here. And interestingly enough, Rob Lowe, also in the same area, also supposed to be sheltering in place, went to his premiere of his, movie the day after or 2 days after the Golden Globes, and there's been more rain since then.
Yeah.
So therefore, he was like, "Nope, I'm not sheltering in place." I mean, he didn't say it that way, but he was like, "I have to come out and support this." Which I guess if Kevin Costner wanted to, he could have, but I think he was just following the rules of what they were saying that you're supposed to do in that locale.
Maybe he didn't think that he was going to win.
But Rob Lowe also said that trees were down. He had to use his truck to tow trees out of the street and stuff. So he's rugged. He's rugged. So
and then also with all that's going on with the guy who played Hawkeye.
Yes.
And with him trying to like clear out snow wherever he lived at, and then the thing ended up running over him and cutting up his leg and stuff. So I get why Kevin Costner wouldn't be there, but it is kind of funny. It's like there's flooding in Santa Barbara and still he can't be here. So that's where it's like I see where she's trying to come from, trying to make the joke. And then because it was all written out, it was like we're praying for everybody, and so she was like prayers. Yep. Prayers.
Got some prayers for people. It was just the most ridiculous and awkward. It's so funny because I was actually watching it with mom. Mom was on the phone. No, Mom and I were texting. We had hung up, but we were texting each other. We were watching some of it, but this part we had already hung up. And she was like, "Oh, she might regret that in the morning." And I was like, "Yeah,
absolutely."
I think she will.
I saw a lot of people were upset
but
about what she said.
But a lot of people that night when I went to Twitter just to look and see, because that's usually the most instantaneous place to look at something. They loved it, and they were like, "Can she host next year? Like this is the most I laughed the whole
she should definitely host."
Yeah, they were like, "This is the most I laughed the whole show. Like, please,
can we put that out there, please? So, Golden Globes,
Golden Globes.
Let's give
Regina Hall. She's amazing. All right, so actor in a musical or comedy, you have Bear with Jeremy Allen Wright. Martin Short, Only Murders in the Building. Steve Martin, Only Murders in the Building. Bill Hader, Barry, and Danny Glover, Atlanta. Who do you think won? Yeah,
I don't know. I want to say Danny Glover, but it's probably not him. It's probably Henry Winkler.
Nope.
Is it my boy?
Jeremy Allen Wright for the Bear.
For the Bear. So I'll give it to him. I'll give it to Lip.
For the Bear. I haven't watched anything but like the first 5 seconds.
I watched the Bear. It was good, but then it's also kind of like
Yeah. So he won. I don't know how many seasons they're in at this point, but no, I don't think you have, because I don't really feel like I know much about the Bear. So, so he won, and so that was kind of interesting. Abbott Elementary won for Best Musical or Comedy Series with the Bear, Hacks, Wednesday, and Only Murders in the Building in that category. Quinta Brunson won for Abbott Elementary as Best Actress against Jean Smart, Kaylee Kuko, Selena Gomez, and Jenna Ortega, who played Wednesday. Actress in a drama, it was The Crown, House of Dragon, Alaska Daily, Ozark, and Euphoria. And Zendaya won for Euphoria in that category, which is great. You have to look at, if you have not seen Emma Darcy from House of Dragon, who plays Rhaenyra, I think is her name. The one who's the one that grows up and all of that and is the queen or whatever. Look at her. I mean,
her pictures.
Look at
the pictures.
Just how she was dressed, how they were dressed. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this. Wrong.
Look
how they are dressed, all of that,
like
because
gothic-ish,
very goth, and I
blue hair
almost did not recognize.
I knew
because I was like, wait, because it wasn't the blonde hair, just all that
automatically.
Kind of stuff.
I was thinking a Negroni.
But yeah, I mean, beautiful, shy, timid, like very. Uncomfortable in the limelight, maybe, but anyway, they were great. So, anywho, then we have screenplay Banshees of Inisherin, Women Talking. I'm sorry, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, and Tar, and the screenplay was won by the Banshees of Inisherin. Interestingly enough,
more so than Tar. Or everything, and
the one, because Spielberg was winning too, so there's that. Okay. So then you have director of a motion picture was Spielberg for The Fabelmans.
He probably has
over Avatar, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once. So that's what he won in that category. And then you have animated film was Pinocchio the winner. You have supporting actor in a motion film is Ki Hong Kwan, who actually played the little boy in one of the Harrison Ford movies back in the day when
really?
he was doing the name of the movies have totally
like Air
escaped
Force
me.
One or something?
No, the ones where Indiana Jones. That's what I was
Indiana
thinking of,
Jones. Okay.
So in one of the movies, he had the little boy who was playing in there, and he's been in the business for now 40 years, basically,
wow.
or maybe 30 some odd years, and now he's finally won his own award, which was pretty cool. And he won against Eddie Redmayne, Brendan Gleeson, Barry Cogan, I can't say it, and Brad Pitt. So he won for Everything Everywhere All at Once. He was in there. Yep.
Yeah. He was the husband.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Angela Bassett won for Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture, which is a key, huge thing because of the fact
she won
that
for what?
Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
And that is huge because no comic book remade MCU any of that has ever had an actress or actor ever win an award, or maybe it's just actress, but has never won an award for
a supporting actress, absolutely.
Yeah, for supporting, for actor, for everything. Like, it's just, this is the first time a woman has actually been eligible to even win, because they haven't even had a category, because it's like, who's going to act that well in a, MCU kind of comic book
but
movie.
she's
amazing. She's awesome. And she is one of the women over 60 who won the award. And then you have the Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy, Colin Farrell, for The Banshees of Inisherin, and he beat the Ray Fiennes for The Menu, Diego Calva for Babylon, Adam Driver for White Noise, and Daniel Craig for Glass Onion. Okay. Which Glass Onion didn't really get that many nods. And then we have the Carol Burnett Award went to Ryan Murphy. What I loved about his acceptance speech is that he actually talked about everybody who he is pretty much hired that is LGBTQ. Okay. And he's just talked about every single one. So Niecy Nash, this is who she is and this is what she's done. And she was, one way, and then she's changed and she's married and she's living her greatest life. And then here's Matthew, whatever his name is. I can't think of his last name right now. But, this is what he's done in his life and his career. Billy Porter, who introduced me. This is about him. Crazy. So it was so emotional in a way to just see him taking his moment
and giving it to everybody else.
I'm going to talk about all of these people because they never had the vision and the people to look at like I have created. Like, I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't for the people who actually live it as well. True, and now they are an example for people who are coming up.
Chills.
It was deep. Really a good speech. Okay, last things. House of Dragon, Best Drama. You had actress in a musical or comedy motion picture was Michelle Yeoh. So for Everything Everywhere All at Once, again, another 60-plus-year-old woman. Yes. The Cecil DeMille Award went to Eddie Murphy. So he gave his speech.
He gave his little tips too.
Tracy Morgan actually introduced him along with Jamie Lee Curtis. Couldn't think of her last name. And so they all introduced him. And yes, he has a comical way that he ended his speech as well. Musical or motion picture was The Banshees of Inisherin. And then I always feel like I'm saying Ed Sheeran. But anyway, Inisherin and Tar.
That's what it sounds like.
Kate Blanchett won for actress, Best Actress in a Motion Picture. The Best Drama Motion Picture was The Fabelmans by Steven Spielberg. You had the Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Hugh Jackson, for The Son, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Bill Nye for Living, Jeremy Pope for The Inspection, and Austin Butler won for Elvis. And as I'm talking about that, because that's the last one, just want to say rest in peace to Lisa Marie Presley. Wait, you did not know?
No.
Yes. So she went into cardiac arrest yesterday. No, she was just on the award show on Monday, and she didn't look quite herself. Like, it looked like she was a little unsteady. She had to hold against somebody when she was interviewing with Billy Bush from Extra. Yeah. And, she just looked a little weak, maybe. Oh, man. But she went into cardiac arrest, and they said that they had to revive her at home. And then they said that by the time she got to the hospital, and I don't know if it was that they called it once they got to the hospital, because it seemed pretty quick that it was one story, and then a couple hours later it was like, that she got rushed to the hospital. Then it was that she had passed. And so, so that was... overnight that news broke.
Didn't even know.
Yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't know. Well, I guess if you, unless it came up across TikTok for you, probably you might not have seen it. But but it was very sad. And then knowing that she was just at the awards on Monday, but then I was feeling like, it's her father's birthday was just a few days ago.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it could be a lot on her.
Yeah, then you're talking about this movie all the time with your father, to the stress of that. And then, she's around this wonderful actor who's portraying her father, and what feelings does that bring up?
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
And doing interviews and all of that. And so anyway, I don't know, but it could just be a broken heart.
Oh, man, rest in peace.
Yeah. So her son had passed away as well. So it's like her father and her son. So it's just
so much
for somebody who you would think would be born with a silver spoon in their mouth. It's almost like she just had a rough life, when you think about it, and just things that were going on. It's like she didn't have it easy, although she was extremely wealthy and, had so many things going for her. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that everybody's going to be happy, and have an easy life. Yeah. So, but anyway, so I have taken 21 minutes to talk about the wonderful Golden Globes of 2023. So,
there's a lot to cover, though.
It was a lot to cover. I hope everyone was entertained and people didn't just say, okay, well, don't want to hear about that. Fast forward. But anyway, so here's the next topic, sis. What you got?
So I want to I'm going to go into this one. Okay. All right. So look, I've been wanting to watch this movie. Okay. The movie's good. I like it, right? But I've been like, I saw like the trailer one time, and then I just keep seeing flashes of it everywhere. Okay. If I go online, it just flashes across my phone. Okay. The Menu.
Oh, The Menu. Yes, I have seen that pop up.
Girl, let me tell you about this movie, okay? Let me tell you. Okay. Whew, this is such a good movie. Okay. It is good, but then the ending is kind of disappointing. But then it's kind of funny, and then it's kind of dark, and then it's
interesting. Now I haven't watched anything, so no spoilers.
All right, so The Menu starts off with a young couple, and they spend a bunch of money to go to a remote island to eat at a highly acclaimed and secluded restaurant on this. This is a nice private island. Yeah. By like the top chef of like anywhere. Like, so this guy is like on this island with him, his like the quarters for the people who work in the kitchen, his little house, and then like a restaurant area. Okay, that's all that's on the island. Okay. So when they get there, there's 9 other people with them, and they get to experience this whole thing, having this chef make his own menu for everyone there. It's
exclusive. Yeah.
So you got like the 9 people. Well, you say like 11 people. Then you got maybe 14 of like the kitchen staff. Okay. Then you have the sommelier. Mm-hmm. You have, I don't even know what you would even call her, but she just runs the place. She is, if you've ever seen the movie The Chef, she is Scarlett Johansson's character. So she just fixes everything. There's a problem in the kitchen. All right, we're gonna get this fixed. Oh, you don't like what's going on with your food? We're gonna get this fixed. Oh, let me take your jacket. Oh, this is good for you, and blah blah blah. So she's like just running it. Yeah. She's like she's like his right hand. Okay. All right. So now it starts to get a little weird. Okay. Very fast. Okay. I think it might be like its second or third course.
Okay.
Yes.
Of how many courses?
I can't remember because the movie goes in so many directions.
7 courses, so it
I don't know.
It's usually 4 to 7.
Maybe. But when I say it gets weird fast, it gets weird fast. Okay. So the chef's name is Slowick. Okay. And he is played by, oh my God, I can't remember his name. Is that what his name is? Ray Fiennes?
I think. Is that the main character?
Yes. Okay. So that. So he's Chef Slowick, and when he first gets there, so everybody's sitting there. It's like a couple. It's like an older couple that are sitting there. Excuse me. And the older couple is Richard and Ann. Okay. Now you know these people. You've seen them on stuff before, and I can't think of where I've seen this lady back before. But she used to be on a TV show years and years ago. Maybe the one with Michael J. Fox. Maybe not. I can't remember. But So you have her and her husband. They're celebrating their anniversary.
Okay.
Next table over is two people who are food critics. So one guy who's a food critic and one woman who's a food critic, and the guy is just like a yes man.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So that's Lillian and Ted.
Okay.
And like he's like, oh, this tastes so good. And she's like, really? I think the emulsion is like it's broken. He's like, yes, that's what I was thinking immediately. So I saw it, it's broken.
He changes.
It's broken.
Yep.
Changes up.
Yeah.
So then you have Margot and Tyler. Margot and Tyler are the main couple that you are following the whole time.
Okay.
Mainly you're following Margot.
Okay. Margot
is the girl who played on, gosh, she's played on so many things. Queen's Gambit.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember how to pronounce. What her name was. I'll have to look it up.
I remember her.
So so then they did my boy wrong. Okay, just want to put this out there. All right, so we got Felicity and the movie star.
Okay.
You know who the movie star is? John Leguizamo. You know what they named him in the movie?
What?
The movie star.
Oh, that's his
He don't even have a name.
Don't even have a name. Oh, that's bad.
God, it's so horrible.
And she is Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yes.
Yep.
So you have the movie star and Felicity sitting at the table together, and he's like a movie star, and I think she might just be like somebody who's like in production, and it's like his right hand or whatever.
Okay.
So then you have Linda. Linda is sitting all alone. She doesn't say nothing. She just at a table by herself, sitting there with a glass of wine. Okay. Then you have these three idiots. Okay, I'm not going to say idiots. These
They got loud.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It was just funny.
You got these three guys who are just like frat bros and just like, we got money, bro. Like, I can buy this place if I wanted to. So that's Bryce, Thorne, and Dave. They're like Wall Street dudes. They're just like, don't scratch my Ferrari kind of guys.
Okay.
All right. So the one who I said is like the head of the kitchen and the head of the dining room and everything. Her name is Elsa. You've seen her in a bunch of things. I don't know if anybody has seen the movie. It's kind of a crappy movie, but it has Matt Damon, and he ends up going to another place, and then then it's a woman that has a Vietnamese accent that he ends up falling in love with.
Never heard of it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. All right. So this is what I want to tell you about this, okay? Some of the food looks awesome.
Okay.
And like the way that whoever wrote this to like explain the food and everything.
Yeah.
Like, you know when you're watching like like Top Chef or something like that, and then like they'll be like, all right, this is my plate of blah, 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 blah. And then they show the picture of like the camera zoomed in on it, and it looks like it's like a kind of like a photo shoot where you have like it's all black in the background, but it's like zoomed in onto the plate, so you can see like the salt and everything. So they did that with like every food,
everything.
So like he had one of them. It was like called Taste the Sea, and it was like a scallop or like a mussel or something like that, sitting on a rock with a whole bunch of different vegetation that you can get out of the sea. Yeah. That was seasoned with seawater, frozen seawater. To make for the salt, stuff like that. Yeah,
that would be too.
It's fancy
for me.
It's fancy.
Okay, fancy. Yeah.
So that's one of the courses. Okay. Another course that comes up is he calls it taco night. Tortillas. Everybody's tortilla has their pictures engraved on it, like etched on it.
Nice.
But one of those pictures has a catch in it, so you gotta watch that. That's something you have to follow. Okay. But it slowly starts to get dark.
Okay.
And not like,
and I feel like the trailer
not like outside dark.
That.
I mean, like it's about to be bad. Yes, twisted.
But I do feel like the trailer alludes to the fact that something.
Happens, oh yeah, somebody's gonna die. That's what basically what it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And as this is happening and unfolding, it becomes so crazy, and then you're just like, okay, what's about to happen now?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? Why are they doing that? What's happening? But it's just like, but you can't move.
Oh, wow.
You just want to watch it.
It's just so good. Huh?
It's so good that you want to watch it. So it's odd.
Okay.
It is odd. I get the concept of where they were going to for the whole movie, as far as like how you thinking one thing and then it ends up being another.
Something else, yeah.
I like how they went and like deep dived into each table and each person at the table.
Yeah.
Like the tortillas for the guys were like for the three guys, the Wall Street guys, were like their bank account statements with their information etched on it.
Oh my goodness!
In the Cayman Islands.
Oh my gosh! So somebody knows something.
Yeah. See. Yeah. And so it was like it's a whole bunch into that. But it gets dark. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, you can't. No,
I can't spoil it.
But it's just good and dark and
because there's so much that I want to say that I can't say because of like it's gonna give something away. Yeah. But it's deep and I like it. Like I would definitely watch it again.
Yeah,
like,
I probably would watch it again and pick up on other things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So check that out. The Menu is I think it's in theaters and on HBO Max.
Okay. Wow. All right. Great.
All right. What you got?
All right, so I am going to talk about one of the BBC shows because I love my BBC, and I'm going to talk about a show called Crossfire.
Crossfire.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a game back in the day. Don't mind me.
So what this show is about, and basically, British shows, not very long episodes or seasons. No. This is literally 3 episodes.
Why don't they just call it miniseries?
1 hour apiece. It's not even like the United States ones that sometimes go an hour and a half.
So it was shorter than the Titanic movie.
Yes, probably so without commercials. Yeah. So but it is about multiple couple friends that get together. So they're all best friends. Them and their families all get together to go on a vacation during Easter in a remote resort. Now, these are British shows. I have no clue who these British actors are. I've never seen them before, so I don't know if anyone else would have. But yeah, you can look and see. But basically, the first night of the vacation was fine, other than one couple getting into a pretty heated argument away from everybody, but everybody kind of saw it as they were getting ready to leave. And so the next day, while all the families are like hanging out at the pool, having a good time, this is all like in the first few minutes, so it's not spoiling anything because it's called Crossfire. But anyway, so while they're all hanging out at the pool, gunmen come in like basically from the beach and start shooting up everything at the pool, like just shooting people randomly. So the families just all run and take cover and are just like, what the heck is going on? Yeah. So of the couple that was arguing, the female of that couple was a police officer. And so she actually like goes into policewoman mode, and it's just like, all right, what should I do? Where should I go? Who should I engage with? How do you know who is actually a gunman versus you bump into somebody and they're actually a guest just like us or a worker here, things of that nature. So that's what's going on. But, people are just trying to figure out like, how do I barricade myself? Like, in a certain area, how do I hide behind the chairs? Like what do I need to do to save myself? And oh, by the way, people have their whole family out there. So these families have their kids who are anywhere from like 5 and 6 all the way up to like maybe teenagers. And everybody just takes off running. So then it becomes who's with who, where are the kids? Where is my husband? Where is my wife? Like all of these crazy scenarios. And so, you really are just watching the show trying to figure out of the family and friends who went, who's actually going to survive the vacation. Yeah. Because it's not only like 2 or 3 gunmen, like it's a good amount of gunmen who then start overtaking the actual resort itself. So not just the outside, but they go inside. They understand and know so much about the inner workings that it almost seems like it's an inside job. Because it's like, how in the world would they know this is where, you use the key card for this, or this is how you get to this area of the resort. Yeah. And so that's kind of another layer to all of this. The main narrator constantly speaks of how we don't truly value ordinary life until something horrible or extraordinary happens to us. And I think that is what this whole thing is about. Like they were just living their regular lives. Like, she keeps saying like, well, everything was normal. Everything was okay. Like everything just felt in such a good place. And now that we've experienced this, you realize how much you took for granted the calmness that you had, or that argument that you had with your husband that wasn't even probably about anything, that it should have been. Or, did you hug your kids enough? All those types of things. And then after it's over, it's almost like everything's changed. Everything's different. Relationships feel different. Everything just it's just
It's a near-death experience will change your life.
How it impacts different people in different ways. And again, you don't even know who lives through it. But oh, by the way, another thing that came out about it is that a couple of people might have been having an affair. So how does that play into this whole dynamic, like of couples and best friend couples getting together and
I feel
going
like that
on this
happens a lot with
vacation?
couples,
You know, you never know. And so basically, you know, some parts were a little frustrating to watch just because of the fact that it was suspense and a thriller. It was just some things that were just unrealistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
like,
get you.
okay, I have a machine gun and I'm shooting 15 times and I miss you. You shoot twice and you get me. You know, like things like that that just, you know, kind of throw you off a little bit or don't feel realistic. Or you shoot them once, they're knocked out, but then somebody on your side could get shot once and then you get to get them to safety or something like that. You know, those kind of things. So, but it is a quick binge. Very entertaining. I really thoroughly enjoyed me. 3 episodes, an hour a piece, if not a little less, once you take away all of the, you know, setup at the, you know, like the commercial, not the commercials, the beginning song and all of that, and then the ending credits. Everything was like 56 minutes or so, total counting that. So without that, it'll probably be even quicker. But Crossfire, BBC.
Let me see. And you watched it on what, BritBox?
I did. I watched it on BritBox. For anybody who has BritBox. It will possibly come over to something like Netflix or whatever in the future. I didn't see it anywhere else but BritBox, but that's just because I do love my British shows. And based on even how this one explains, I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, some of them are so amazing, and often shows that we get over here started off over there, like The Office, the current one now called The Wheel.
You were just a bunch of thieves.
Shows, started over in Britain and then have come over to the United States.
Yeah, all those like game shows. All those game shows and everything will come over here.
All right. So your turn, Sis. What you got?
So what I got... The name is hilarious, but I love it. It's called Cha Cha Real Smooth.
I did see the thing on that. Did they even play that song in there?
Don't recall it being in there.
Just like, why would they call it that?
I don't recall it being in there.
Okay.
At all.
Just checking.
Huh. But I mean, I get why it's maybe kind of.
Okay.
All right. So this is on Apple TV.
All right.
So you have Cooper Raiff, he plays the character of Andrew, and he actually wrote this.
Okay.
That he like wrote and directed or whatever. Dakota Johnson playing Domino.
Okay.
You have Leslie Mann playing Andrew's mom, and she's like the real soft, sweet spoken one who's she was on like This Is 40.
Oh,
really soft spoken. You have Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond. He plays the kid Andrew's stepdad. And then you have Raul Castillo, and he plays Joseph. That's the love interest for Domino.
Okay.
Now, this movie is super cute.
All right.
Heartbreaking, though.
Aww.
Funny.
Okay.
But I like it. All right. So Andrew's a 22-year-old that's moved. He's moved back home looking for a job, right? So his family's like invited to a bar mitzvah. His little brother is like in that age of a bar mitzvah. You know.
Okay.
So they go there. The bar mitzvah is going on. DJ's playing music. Everybody's just like sitting around. None of the kids are dancing. The parents are like talking to each other, blah, blah, blah. So then the kid Andrew's like, he goes over to the little teenage boys table and was like, why aren't y'all dancing? And it was like, because this DJ's garbage and like, it's not fun. He was like, well, make it fun. He was like, can you dance? And one kid like does like the little like move. And then he's like, yeah, I can dance. He was like, show me your moves. And he gets the kids up. Okay. Those boys start dancing and he goes over to the girls table and does the same thing. So now all these kids are dancing. He ends up being the hype party starter.
Get the party started.
Okay. But here's what happens. Now all these parents are like, you did a great job, Andrew. Yeah. I need you for this bar mitzvah. And I need you for this bat mitzvah. And I need you for this. Blah, blah. So now he's like, Mom, I know what my job is. I'm going to be a DJ and a hype man at all these bar mitzvahs. And his parents are just like, that's not a career, but whatever is going to bring you money. So he ends up going to all these different parties, and he keeps seeing this one girl there.
Okay.
And she's always there with her mom, but she sits at a table, always has her headphones on. So she asked her brother, he was like, hey, what's up with that girl? And his brother was like, oh, she has autism, like, I think she's older than us, like a lot of kids pick on her, blah, 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 blah. And then his little brother's cute because his little brother's like, yeah, I'll dance with her, like I'll hang out with her, I'll talk to her, you know. He's just like a regular kid. But so the kid Andrew goes to the girl, starts talking to her, like just speaks to the mom, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Starts talking to the girl's like getting the girl's interest, and then he ends up dancing with the little girl.
Oh.
Right. So then the mother is just like, I love you.
Yeah.
We're getting married, right? So then that's Dakota Johnson's character.
Okay.
So now what ends up happening is there's like a little back and forth between them, but she got a whole man, an entire man.
That's not good.
Yes. So that's that. So you got that little romance thing
like the
in
Hallmark
there.
movies.
Yeah,
There's always the woman with the man or fiance and the guy in the flannel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got a little bit of that. But then you see the guy in the flannel. I just called that.
It's always the guy in the flannel.
It's always the guy in the flannel.
Just a normal everyday guy.
Red and black flannel.
Yep.
To be exact.
Guy next door. Yeah. Sometimes blue and black, but yeah.
Sometimes blue.
Yeah.
That's funny. So from there now, the guy's still being a hype man, but now the boyfriend's back in town.
Oh, okay.
And now that the boyfriend's back in town, the Domino and Joseph want to go out on dates, and he's just like, oh, I don't have a problem. Like I'll hang out with Lola. Like she's cool. Like he's like, I don't have a problem with hanging out with her. Like they do Rubik's cubes, and like he bought her like this big 300 cube thing. It's like a Rubik's cube, but like really big. It's probably like half the size of a laptop.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
So now he's like heartbroken because of the woman, and then like the guy goes away again, and now him and Domino are like together, and then they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do, and blah 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 blah. So Domino, So like that's a little love interest with that, but the way that this kid is like 22 years old and just like starts hanging out with this like, I guess she's like 14-year-old girl, but it's like. They're best friends. Yeah, not in a creepy way. Yeah, because she's like, can I tell you stuff? Because a lot of people don't listen to me. He's like, you can tell me whatever. And like, and then they just talk, and he's just like, am I saying this right? Am I dumb? She's like, you're not dumb, but you're not the smartest person I've ever met. Because she's autistic, you know, she's going to say her mind. Yes, but he's like, he's loving it, and then it's just a whole heartfelt movie. I love the acting in it. The one thing that I will say that they should have changed.
Okay.
Cooper Raiff, okay, the guy who plays Andrew, looks way too old to be 22 in this movie. Okay,
gotcha.
You got a full beard and your hair's receding. Should have got somebody else.
I wonder how old he is in real life.
I have no idea. I don't know if he's that old.
Could be just aging early.
I mean, maybe
and gracefully.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Not for 22, but yeah. but all the characters work together really good. It's not any issues, and I don't know for sure if the girl who plays Lola, if she's actually autistic or not, or if she was just acting. Because I saw an interview and she was kind of talking the same way that she was talking in the movie, so it could be that is actually like her, and that'd be awesome if they have people being like autistic characters in movies that are actually autistic.
I think that is the Hollywood way right now.
Good.
Making sure, just like how before with Transparent, they would have someone who wasn't trans playing, but now they're like, no, we have plenty of trans actors and actresses out there.
Because they had in Transparent, they did have some trans.
They had some, but not. Well, he's 25.
He's 25?
25, so he's playing a 22.
He's a mature 25.
And when they were making it, he could have been 24.
Let's say he's an old soul. Okay,
I can see where he could look like he's like 28, 29, 30.
Because I mean, Dakota Johnson, I swear like her character has to be like in, I don't know, almost 30, but they look like they're the same age.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So that's what I was like, that's what kind of
33 in real life.
So that's what kind of like throws you off.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like it. It's a cute movie. It's like it's a semi-family movie. I'd probably say it's like teenage family movie.
Okay.
You know, like high school.
And further.
Yeah. Awesome. So check it out. Cha-Cha Real Smooth on Apple TV. All right, what you got?
Okay. So I have a Welcome to Chippendales on Hulu.
Hey.
OMG. When I say this is one of my top 5 TV shows that came out in 2022, it blew my mind. It was amazing. I enjoyed it. I don't know if everybody else will, but I've been telling everybody about it, and people who have watched it all are really, really liking it. Loving it. Good. So it has Kumail Nanjiani playing Soman or Steve. So he's kind of the main character. You have Murray Bartlett playing Nick DeNoia. You have Ashley Ashford playing Irene. You have Juliette Lewis playing Denise. So those are probably the main characters that everybody has seen in other things. Oh, and Andrew Rannells, I can't even talk, plays Bradford. So those are the people that you probably have seen in some other things. But this show, let me tell you. So it is kind of in the realm of where I was even saying last week, where it was Bad Sisters, and that being like another top 5 show that I really enjoyed this year. So that's just, if you like one of them, you'll love the other one too. I like it a lot. All right. So it is about the story of Steve Soman or Steve Banerjee. And so, and Nick DeNoia, that's basically the story. But Steve was working at a gas station, and he's of Indian descent. He's from India. His family still lives there. He came to the United States for his dream. And so he worked at this gas station until he could save enough money to purchase his own backgammon club, because he said that back then, backgammon was a huge thing that everybody loved to play. So therefore, he opened this backgammon club. Well, it kind of backfired on him because people didn't really go and play backgammon and buy drinks and eat food and things of that nature. So therefore, excuse me, this is supposed to be popular in the 70s and 80s. So therefore, after he did all of that, all his money was invested into this. So he had to figure out how to make it work, even though it wasn't really busy at all. So then he tried to turn it into a nightclub, like 15 people would show up. Like it just was never really a thing. Okay. One couple came in while it was in the nightclub mode, and they were like, oh my God, this place sucks. Like, let's just probably, like, oh, why are we even
like
here?
You walk in, there's nobody there.
And then you're like, oh, I'm not going to hang out at the club where nobody's at other than drunk people who just want to dance around on the floor just because. So therefore, the husband and wife team, funny enough, Steve approached them, and long story short, they kind of became partners in a way, because the guy's wife was a Playboy bunny. Oh, okay. And Steve was extremely amazed by Hugh Hefner. So he was like, do you think you'll be able to get Hugh to come to the club? Let's be partners. You're in the business. You can bring famous people. I'll give you part of the partnership. Let's make this work. Well, let's just say that the guy tried to make some connections, didn't make as many as you would think he should or would. But then one of the nights, they actually took Steve to a gay bar. And as he was there, he got an idea about male exotic dancers, because of the fact that he was like, look, they're go-go dancing, and they were go-go dancers. So it was like, they're go-go dancing up there for men. Why do we have strip clubs and, these kind of bars for men to see women, but we don't have anything for women to see men? And so, some people were like, well, women are too classy. They're just not going to be interested or whatever. So he was like, well, let's give it a try. So they basically just found people on the street and had them come into Chippendales and be dancers. Well, what ends up happening is that husband and wife start getting the business kind of off the ground a little bit. And women are interested. They're coming in. They're having their money. They're paying at the door, plus having their ones, the whole 9 yards. But they started feeling like, oh, it's just so routine. It's the exact same show I saw the last time that I came. I wish they would do something different. Then walks in Nick DeNoia. And so Nick actually had a riff a little bit with Steve's other partner, just because that partner was kind of drinking all the time, not doing everything the right way he should have. He gave him less responsibilities, the whole 9 yards. Unfortunately, Nick's business relationship with the husband and wife, who's a Playboy model, ended abruptly and tragically. So therefore, he ended up basically only working with Nick DeNoia. And it became a scenario of the two of them maybe having slightly difference of opinion and things of that nature, but trying to figure everything out and bring everything together. But I forgot to mention that Steve came up with the name Chippendales.
I was about to ask you about that.
He came up with that name, and the interesting thing about it is that it is not for, I won't spoil anything, but it's not for what you think. Like, you would just think, oh, Chippendales must have been something. So therefore, that's why he wanted to call it for the strippers or whatever. But when you find out what Chippendales actually was or where he got it from, it's totally different than what you would expect. Okay. So anyway, so after a short time of him working with Nick, they started butting heads about things. Nick was like, look, I'm a choreographer. I can come up with different routines. I'm pulling this whole thing together. I already have 2 Emmy Awards. I'm bringing all the ideas. Steve, you just run the books and, let me handle things. But as things progressed, all of a sudden it became people thinking that this man, Nick DeNoia, was Mr. Chippendales. And Steve is like, nobody knows that this Indian guy of Indian descent is the person who actually started it. And so therefore, it just becomes this battle between the two of them for a very long period of time.
For like the clout of like who is going to be Mr. Chippendale.
Like, Nick, why aren't you saying that you aren't? Like when Donahue says, oh, Nick DeNoia, Mr. Chippendales, for you to correct him and say, well, actually, I'm, working for Mr. Chippendales, because he wasn't a partner. He was like pretty much on his payroll kind of thing. And so he never clarified. The two of them bump heads so much. Every idea he would bring up that was slightly different than what Steve wanted, Steve would just shut it down. So then Nick was like, look, we need to get some space between us. You stay on the West Coast. I'm going to go to New York on the East Coast. I'll open up a Chippendales out there. And then that way you can live your life and I can live mine. But interestingly enough, things turn there.
Oh, God.
In regards to the success of the different locations and also the possibility of some potential thievery or misplacement of, it's just misplacement of information or usage of wordage that makes it so that theft can happen pretty quickly and easily. Okay. So, and then also, it's just a story, I'll put it this way and wrap it all up. It's a story of arson. It's a story of murder. Okay. It's a story of murder-suicide. It's a story of theft. And it's all surrounding the Chippendales.
All right.
It is the most insane. And it's all true. It's all based on a true story to the point that as I was watching it, I actually stopped and watched the Chippendale documentary that's also
so you can make sure that it was right.
So that I could just see what was going on. And that was law enforcement. That was the actual dancers themselves. Like all of that was included in this documentary, which also was mind-blowing. So anyway, that's what I have. Chippendales. Welcome to Chippendales. It's on Hulu. If you watch it, you won't regret it. It's 8 episodes, I believe. And so it can be a quick binge now that it's over. It killed me, by the way, that I was watching on Hulu when they were only releasing a couple of episodes
at a time. Yeah, like 2 at a time.
So I'm so glad it's over now so people can just binge through. But it was like, as soon as the night was that it was going to come out, I was like, okay, I got to watch it. Like, that's the kind of
that's how good
TV
it was.
That I
okay,
had. So,
I can get that.
But anyway, I do recommend it. So that's it. Welcome to Chippendales. Right. My last one. So what you got, sis?
All right, so for my last one, this is very deep. This is very true.
Okay.
We're going to talk about She Said.
She Said.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, this is on Peacock. You can watch it. Now
it was in the movies too. I remember.
Yeah, it was in. I think it's still in the movie theaters.
It might still be in the theater.
Peacock. So this is the story of the bring down of Harvey Weinstein.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So just to start it off, the acting is great. Zoe Kazan is Jodie Cantor, who's one of the reporters in this. You have Carey Mulligan, who is the other reporter, Megan Twohey. You have Patricia Clarkson, who plays Rebecca, and you have Ashley Judd playing herself.
Awesome.
Let me tell you how deep that is. Wait till I get to that part. Okay. Anyway, so it's like the beginning of changing.
Yeah.
the movie and TV industry.
Yeah.
Ever.
And and not just being okay with the fact that the director's couch in his office is where all the deals are made and things of that nature.
Exactly.
Like just making it not right for those kind of things to happen.
So what it is a story of these two reporters who end up getting information, like trying to get like some kind of information about hearing about everything that Harvey Weinstein does.
Mm-hmm. So they heard about it, and now they're like, we need
to prove.
Okay.
That's the only way the New York Times would put it out. Yeah, because that's who they work for. Mm-hmm. So it's basically just about these two women finding this information. And then what's his name? Rowan Farrow.
Yep.
He comes into it as well, but he comes into it from, I think he's at another place. I think he might be at like the Post or something like that. But I think he's at another.
I can't remember where he was, but somewhere else.
But it is very deep. And the way that they get all this information is like extremely crazy. There was so much that was going on. So like I said, Ashley Judd is in it. And Ashley Judd plays herself.
Awesome.
I think she's the only actress that is in this movie that plays herself.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you that in the movie, they do have like one person's phone, like she's scrolling through and she's just looking at the pictures of the people who are like, I'm not going to say anything because of my career. And as she's scrolling, there are a lot of celebrities.
Oh, wow.
I mean, like,
and these are accurate. I guess so, because you can't put a person's face.
Oh no,
I
mean, like this is like an actual like the Dahmer thing was, because you can actually they even have stuff at the end of it. Yeah, they have stuff on the end of it. They have recordings,
like Rose, whatever her name
Rose
was.
McGowan.
Yeah,
yes,
McGowan, yeah.
But they have recordings.
Oh wow, okay.
Like there's this one woman who she said she walked in to the hotel.
Yep.
And she was like, what conference room do I need to go to see Mr. Weinstein? They were like, you have to go into his room. She said she gets there, he's sitting there with a robe on. She said she didn't really pay any attention to it. And then you hear him just being like, no, just sit down right here. No, it's okay. She's like, why'd you just touch my breast? Like, get away from me. He was like, it's okay. You want to take a shower? Like, you want to do this?
That
like,
was his thing. It seemed like a shower.
And it was so crazy. And if you just hear him, he's like begging and pleading these women, like he's like, look, you will never see me again, I will ruin your life, just sit down for like 2 seconds, I promise, it's not going to take long. Crazy. Like women were like, he said to them, let me just do one thrust and then we'll be all over. And then
I'll make your career.
Yes,
like
yes.
Oh, gosh.
So what ended up happening with Ashley Judd, she said they have her on there and she even talks about it. And she's like, I went into his room and he was like, can you give me a massage or something like that? And she was like, no. And then he said something else to her and then she was like, look, how about this? If you get me to, I think she said like winning some awards and blah, 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 blah. She said, then I'll give you a blowjob. That's what she said. And then she said, as soon as she left, she told everybody about it. And she said, after that, her career was over.
Yeah.
Complete. I haven't seen her in like hardly anything, and she was one of my favorite actresses back in the day.
Up and coming. I mean, not even up and coming. She was like there with all of the top.
She had
actors.
some of the best movies too. Double Jeopardy, Twisted. That one was good. Oh my god! Like she has the movie. She was really good at I feel like Angelina Jolie just took all her shine and took all her stuff, kind of like, because I feel like they had those kind of the action,
strong,
they had those kind of together.
And J-Lo had some of those
movies.
J-Lo
did have a lot of those, but she has more of like the funny movies and anything,
the romantic comedy kind of stuff.
And you know what? I remember this like it was yesterday. Okay. So I'm watching Ashley Judd, and I might have been on like Jay Leno or something. It was something. It might something like back in the day, and she was talking about a movie that she's making.
Okay.
And she says called Animal Husbandry. I remember this. I'm thinking about, I want to see her in this movie. It was like after she'd done all these other movies, movie never comes out.
Yeah, I was going to say, never even heard of that.
Because she's gone.
Oh, they had to take her out because he took her out.
He took her out. He ruined her career. She was like, I want to take him down. She's like, but I want to work.
Yeah. How do you do both?
Yeah, how do you do both?
Yeah. When you're such a powerful person.
Yes,
That's
and
the
like
thing,
but he was like the head of Miramax. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, this is an entire company. Yeah. But they said that it was always massages. It was always
showers, right?
Showers and
him in a robe.
Him in a robe. Him. I don't know. I didn't hear anything about him being in an office. Always him in a hotel room.
Hotel room, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Always.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So basically, these two ladies, like, they get stories of, like, I think it was 12 women that they get the stories of, and then it comes to find out it's like 70 to 80 women.
It's insane.
Total. Yeah. But the way that they, like, I don't even know. But it's just so crazy that it just took two women.
Yeah, two women
to bring, like, to be like, look, I got your back. Like, we have to put this out there because you don't want somebody else going through this. Yeah, and one of the reporters, she's talking to her daughter, like, on like Zoom. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, yeah, sweetie, like, I'm writing about this. And her daughter asked her questions like, what are we writing? What are you writing about? What are you writing about? Yeah. She was like, well, not this, not that. And then her daughter says, it's about rape. And the look that she had looking at her like 11-year-old daughter saying, is it about rape? And then her daughter talking about, oh, the boys and girls at school talk about rape and stuff like that. And then she's
just
like,
realizing that it's starting so early. It's
starting so early. Like this is a thing. So I think that she basically internalized it. Like, this could happen to my child. I have to do this. Yeah. But these two women single-handedly started the Me Too movement, which, like, not started, but they capitalized off the Me Too movement.
Yeah, they actually, because Me Too was started already in regards to the hashtag and things like that. But when it came to this scenario, I want to say it might have been Alyssa Milano who connected the two.
Oh, really?
And
okay.
was like, something Me Too or something like that.
Okay. I know Ashley Judd had spoken at the Capitol.
Ashley Judd had actually been one of the first to come out against Weinstein with Rose McDonald and all that. Rose McGowan, sorry. Yeah. So all of that. But it definitely was all intertwined, I guess you could say, all at the same time. Yeah. And it was about time. It was way past time, actually.
Absolutely, because you have to think about it. How many other women in this in this industry have gone through that? Like, how many different places?
Yeah, because they said 70, 80. I'm sure they didn't scroll through that.
But that was 70, 80 for Harvey Weinstein.
Right, exactly. And then who are all these other producers and who are these other people who also went through this and either it hasn't been seen or told and actually some people, it all came out into the open. Yeah, and now we know and those people are no longer in their positions of power.
I think that one of the parts in the movie was like, you should talk to Spielberg because he can't stand them. I think that's what he said. It's like Spielberg or Scorsese. It's one of the big.
But the unfortunate part is, even if people knew what he was doing and didn't work with him because of what he was doing, like, I'll never do a Miramax movie because I know X, Y, and Z is happening over there. It's still no advocacy.
Yeah, because it's not. That's not fixing the problem. That's putting a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah, it's just like, I know what's happening over there, and I don't want to be a part of it, but I'm also not going to speak up.
Not going to say anything about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I didn't realize. I can't say that I guess he did have, like, he just abused his power.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, he
knew he could make or break a career. How many years? Like,
these women,
20 years.
Like, he had like private investigators and like henchmen. These women are standing outside of their homes. Yeah. And, like, they are talking to the reporter. Yeah. And they're talking about something that happened in 91.
Wow. Yeah.
And the lady's like looking around. She's like, they're watching this right now, right? Like, we can't be talking about this. And she's just like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but, like, this happened in the 90s. She was like, no.
So did they try to come out? I mean, not to spoil anything, did they try to come after the reporters?
They kept, well, I'm not going to say tried to come at them, but the reporters, when the women kept saying, they're watching us now. Uh-huh. Like, you can't be here. I don't want to talk to you. Yeah. I've already gotten a call. I've already gotten a call from Harvey Weinstein's assistant or like his lawyer or whatever, just asking me questions of who I've talked to. Yeah. But the one thing he kept saying, because they had the guy who was doing Harvey Weinstein's voice over the speakerphone, because they never showed him. But it was over the speakerphone. And he was like, you say you have these women, who are they? Is it Gwyneth Paltrow? Tell me. Is it Gwyneth Paltrow? Did Gwyneth do this? And they was like, it's not Gwyneth Paltrow. So he's just giving out names to them.
Like, why would you say Gwyneth Paltrow?
That's what I'm saying. Just like, was it Gwyneth Paltrow?
Did Gwyneth Paltrow ever come out and say anything?
I don't know, but her picture was definitely
she
on
has
that
a
phone.
picture with him, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah.
She was on that phone when they were swiping through, looking on the people. Yeah.
Right.
And just one more thing that I just wanted to say. It's a devastating thing that this happened, but it's also so good that they took down like this sexist pig who just abused his power and just figured that he could run any woman's life.
Exactly.
I mean, and then also, did he do it to men too?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know.
We don't know,
but it's unfortunate because women have always been the people who have to deal with this type of behavior. And I say always, but I mean, in reality, I mean, you have Kevin Spacey's situation that came out during that time as well.
Yeah.
And so you can't really say women are always, but when it comes to sometimes opportunity, promotions, whatever, a lot of times rich white men are the ones who run the show.
Yeah, exactly.
And so anybody, whether it's a minority, a female, a male who maybe isn't rich, whatever the case may be, could be subjected to the power that these people yield.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, Oprah said it best. If you are a good person and you make $1 billion, you're going to be a better person. And if you're a horrible person, before you make the billion, once you make it, you're going to be even more horrible.
Be a horrible person.
You know,
So,
it's
that's
just,
very
it
true.
brings out the power, and the money brings out the core of who people are.
That's very true.
All right. Well, thank you for staying with us, everybody, for Sestra-Tainment. We will talk to you all next week. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and bye.
Bye.